All right, welcome back to Newsday. Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from all around the world, Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni and Dayo Shobwale. Mr. Emmanuel Efeni, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Vembai. Good afternoon, Nii. Good afternoon, Dayo. Yeah, it's been a rainy day. Yes. Now, we'll start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. We'll start with the story above the masthead. NNPCL, ExxonMobil reached settlement agreement on $1.28 billion oil assets divestment deal nears completion. National Oil Company gets additional 10% interest as parties await regulatory approval. Yes, this long-drawn deal is finally, at least there's a settlement on how the deal should proceed, and before long, I think they will put ink to paper with the regulatory authorities giving the necessary nod. But the naughty areas stalling this deal has been seem to have been dealt with because now NNPC has been given an additional 10% interest up from 60%. So instead of 60-40 they had with ExxonMobil, what will subsist now will be 70-30 with Seplat when Seplat eventually takes over these assets. Additionally, it's also been agreed that NNPC can bring in a third party somewhere along the line. But significantly, and I think they should just hasten up every other aspect of this deal, Dayo, because 140 wells have been shut in since these disagreements and the inability of Mobil, the American oil giant, to transfer these assets to Seplat. So that is very significant.
Maybe they are developing cold feet, but nobody forced them to divest. They volunteered.
No, they are not the ones stalling it. NNPC has been the one objecting.
Yeah, but you see, it is not easy. NNPC is trying to play safe. You know, once the deal is done, you know the assets you have, you know the assets they have.
Yes.
So nobody wants to be short-changed. Those divesting want to live in such a way that they don't lose out. And we too, because we are holding the can, we don't want to be left with an empty can at the end of the day. So I don't even mind the delay as long as it is thoroughly done and the best interest of Nigeria.
Well, all the assets and liabilities must be factored in, not only the assets, the liabilities, so that those who are taking over from Seplat in this case will also inherit the liabilities. That's right. Which include some environmental issues that come with
cleansing.
The way oil companies do business in this climate, not following world best practices.
Living desolate environment.
Yeah, the lead story of this day: in historic first, Trump found guilty on all 34 counts in hush money trial. Ex-president, this was a rigged trial by a conflicted, corrupt judge.
I don't know how many times I've heard that.
Rigged. You know, when Trump loses out, whether it's election or in the court, it's rigged.
It must be rigged.
So what's the next thing that will be rigged against him? But somehow he's profiting from even this adversity, if you call it, because he's raising more money through his supporters, and he's been talking. In a short while, according to The Wire, reporting that he will soon be addressing the press. He knows how to make gains out of his adversity.
Even if he's still losing out at the capital market,
yes,
betting on his companies.
You know what I found quite interesting with this story, just to relate it back to what's happening in South Africa, is, you know, when Jacob Zuma was arrested, it did the opposite of what they hoped it would do, which is to, you know, to criminalize him in the face of people. It gave him a lot of support. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for Donald Trump, because already with the amount of donations flooding flooding in for him. It looks like this might actually be the push of a little bit of sympathy he may have needed from some voters to garner some votes going to election
the
day.
Undecided voters may just decide not to vote for him because of this. Go in, Dayo.
See, I won't like what I'm going to say.
No, I
see.
I don't have
I feel.
Yeah.
Trump is going to profit from what is happening to him.
Yeah.
Because the more he has cases, and somehow this is about the only one that will be decided before the election in November. Even the judgment on this or something like that will be July, just a few weeks before
the sentence.
And there's no doubt that he's going to be the nominee of the Republican Party. So the way his supporters see this
is a presumptive nominee.
That they have weaponized the judicial system against him, and that is why this is happening. We have always had that in Nigeria, political victimization. Nobody thought it would happen in a place like America, but then politics is ubiquitous. And fraud too, political fraud, international and ubiquitous. Yes. So I enjoy this. Because they always thought we are the corrupt politicians, we are the corrupt political system.
We're all the same.
But you see, the next president of the US saying that the system is rigged.
Oh, prophetic. The
It's
next
not
president
Nigeria.
of the
You're already crowning him the next president.
Of course. That's why I say I don't like it.
Well, I don't.
They have turned him into a political matter.
But I don't want to
He
see
will
it
be
as
president from prison. You see.
I don't want to
Let them
see
jail
this
him
as
several times
a
over.
political persecution.
Hey, that's you.
The evil that men do live with them. I think
After
that's what.
them, don't misquote Shakespeare.
No, I'm
Evil that men do-
telling you my own now.
You are not Shakespeare. Quote Shakespeare.
I can be Shakespearean, you know. In this case, the evil that men do live with them. That's why Trump is answering for several cases. Not don't have to wait till he dies.
Political martyrdom will put him in the White House.
Okay.
You can quote me.
agree
You
with you.
can quote me
I agree with
later.
you.
Well, no,
Quote me later.
it's a possibility because every
It is a possibility.
every time he appears in court, he rallies around his base the more. So, well, it will not be far-fetched
They could
if he
just
wins the
They
election.
could just try to be fair by even clearing him on some charges. All the 34 counts. And what is the case?
But facts,
The bribery case.
Facts and the law.
Ask your lawyer to settle some people and turn this into a national
If your lawyers aren't settling
Anyway.
people.
interest account. This is about interest account.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's about interest account.
I hear you. I hear you.
I'm
I
happy
hear
you have heard me.
I hear you. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper. Supreme Court gives governors ultimatum over local government autonomy. Offers 7 days to defend suit. Fixes June 13 for hearing.
That's right.
Well,
That's part of what the government, the president was telling the
Yes,
northern
they
leader.
must-
This local government.
they must. I think governors must
just box them in.
allow the local government to
To breathe. Yes.
Now they have been taken to the Supreme Court. They should go and defend themselves.
That's right.
And we'll keep a watching brief on that case.
Yeah.
Now, the Vanguard newspaper, minimum wage, Labour may begin nationwide strike Monday if today's meeting to decide next line of action. Labour governors gang up stalling minimum wage negotiation. Sources as tripartite committee reconvenes after Labour's Tuesday walkout. Federal government pleads Labour's understanding. Well, the tripartite negotiation is still on. They are meeting today again. Let's just hope they will be able to arrive at a compromise that is fair to all sides. I don't want to say acceptable.
Iman, you see, my take on this is, you know the story of the boy crying wolf when there is no wolf.
Yes.
So when the wolf comes, eventually nobody runs to his aid.
Yes.
That's the case with Labour now. They have made a mockery of this wage issue with the amount on the ground and what the government. People are no longer interested. You get me? Let them call strike and let's see how many people will come out to their strike.
The workers
From-
who
what are
benefit
you
from
talking
this are
about?
interested.
Of course, for some people have been given some increment of recent, civil servants and so on.
Yes.
A bird in hand is not two in the bush. These people are still asking for 500, 500 something.
No, I think they have come down to 400.
497.
But they will have to come to an agreement one way
And
or
government is
the other,
insisting.
right?
Where is the agreement? Between 60,000.
No, they
and
will
400.
arrive. They will arrive at a compromise. That
Let them,
They
but
want
they
to
should
do
not
it
be
at the
threatening.
11th hour,
They should
so
not be
today might be
threatening
the
people.
day.
They should not be threatening strike. They are making their strike threat impotent in a way.
Okay, the Punch newspaper,
I'm
student
making it
loan.
important.
336 state institutions listed as 60,000 registered. State students to be onboarded in 3 weeks. Applications received from 90% of federal schools. Well, you know, we've always canvassed that state universities,
Yes.
students in state universities should be part of this, and I think the government seem to have listened to our clamor.
But
And,
do they need to tell them? That's part of, I would still go back to this admonition to the state government, like
Yeah.
the president. You see, if federal government is doing something, and you states, you know you have universities, you should try at least to make your own universities or the beneficiaries in those universities more comfortable than even the federal government. That's what happened when the state university started.
Okay, well, this students loan issue, one of those things, at least you say, the president has done well.
There's an
The first
incentive
1
for
year.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
An
So that
incentive for
nobody
education.
is left out of
Yeah.
higher education when you
That's
have a
right.
desire just because you cannot afford it.
That's
now,
right.
the Guardian newspaper, Biafra Day turns bloody, soldiers killed as IPOB and forces sit at home in Southeast. A sad one there.
That's
This-
a state within a state.
Yes.
Because the state government asks people to come out, people are not coming out.
No, the people are
That's
not
the state,
are
state
not
within a state.
obeying that, just obeying that instruction. They are
Right.
afraid for their safety.
Now, their government has guaranteed them.
Well, if government guarantee you and you are killed, government will not bring you back. That's why, so I don't want to blame those who sit at home. It's not because they like to obey IPOB over their state government. It's because of their safety.
Yeah.
Look at these people killing soldiers.
Who?
These are some mad fellows who are claiming to be enforcing sit at home, killing soldiers. So talk about the individual and you think they will not be afraid? Well, okay,
Okay,
let's just
those
look at
killing soldiers are
Business
not
Day
individuals.
newspaper of South Africa. Results show ANC on the ropes. Well, clearly from the outlook, there's no way the ANC will get that 50% threshold plus.
Impossible.
So they will just have to make do with an alliance if they want to be in government. Of course, I know that's where they are looking at.
The prospective alliance.
All right, but unfortunately,
Prospective alliance. Let's discuss it.
I know it's burning. I know it's a burning issue. I hope we will be able to discuss
We'll
it
have more time to
on
discuss
Monday.
it
Absolutely.
by Monday.
Mr. Doya Shobolo, Mr. Emmanuel Efeni, thank you so much for your time today and your insights as always.